All right, what's up, my fun feathered fam? Are we growing from what we are knowing? Are you tuned in or turned away? I won't start from the beginning, but I will give you what it is you're missing. If it is you who you care about, you won't ignore what it is you fear about. If it is your family in which you are concerned for, you won't pretend like there's nothing here. There's nothing going on more. Fear not, have not, waste not, want not. Who are we if we don't see what we're looking at? What's up? Just thought I would drop in on y'all. You know how it is. I've got some good things for you to peep and make your own decisions about today. You are not, this is not follow leader. This is be wise. Don't live behind a disguise. That's what this is. Shall we? Or shall we not? Just joking. Let's get it.
How would you put a kid in a room behind a desk when the sun is out for their whole entire childhood? Not put them in front of water or ocean or anything that inspires them. Dim lights. If you notice, schools, jails, and hospitals all look exactly the same. Why wouldn't it be something inspiring?
When you want it the most, there's no easy way out. When you're ready to go, and your heart let me know.
Okay. You know, at any point in time, at any one of these, you have the freedom to let me know exactly what you feel and what you're thinking down in the comments. However, you know, I will invite you to do it.
There are 52 days remaining to prevent Operation Gigawatt from reaching their first milestone of installing or injecting the fuel cell into the nuclear reactor that the Air Force flew in on Operation Windlord. This nuclear reactor from Baylor Atomics has not undergone any testing. It doesn't have any NRC paperwork with it whatsoever. There have been no ability, feedback, anything from the public, and they're planning on putting it in the Colorado River Basin. I have gone as far as to file an emergency TRO, but because I said, hey, this is going to blow up everybody, and so this just impacts me, it was denied without prejudice, and I now have to go back and redo the case. So there's not a lot of time left to get these data centers to start being updated. And
Utah might want to wake up now, Utah. Yo, what is it they say? Just saying.
If you're evil but admit that you're evil, people will weirdly let it slide. In psychology, they call this preemptive self-disclosure. You're effectively hijacking the insult. Now they can't hold it above you anymore. You're neutralizing the shame. The thing is, most people want to feel superior in some way, so they like to point the finger at you. But the second you take accountability, now they don't have anything over you and they don't know what to do anymore.
He said you are hijacking the insult. Okay, hijack. Get hijacked. Thank you.
Wouldn't it be crazy if governments around the world have mutated the hantavirus in order to make it transmissible from human to human?
Out the gate, I'd just like to point out that the U.S. Army filed a patent for the hantavirus vaccine back in 1994, so that's interesting. And actually, during COVID, during March 2020, there was a mysterious hantavirus incident in China where a man died on a bus. That's eerie. That creeps me the fuck out. We've had multiple reports of Americans getting sick in new weird ways. We've all been through COVID at this point, but apparently people are getting sick with something new, feels different, you know, same sort of symptoms, but yeah. And now, of course, let's talk about the human-to-human transmission of killer hantavirus on the ship. Up until recently, the virus only got into humans by, like, eating rat shit and piss. Go to the wellness company, hit the link in bio, get yourself some ivermectin on stock. That's my suggestion.
Dude's voice, though, huh? Okay. Oh, let's discuss this. Get down in the comments. Let's do it. So what they're saying is that they have genetically made it possible so it can be transferred from person to person. And excuse me, but Hanta in in Hindi, I believe, means dupe, duped, fool, you know, dummy, okay, you've been dummy. Yeah, that's right, that's right.
Supposed to be out here catching trout. Look at this shit. Like you can literally just. Oh, it's a dead turtle right there. Another dead turtle over there. Another dead turtle. Another one. What the fuck? Dead turtle. Nah, this is crazy. Another one right there.
I just can't with all of them. No, I cannot.
So if you make a tensor ring out of copper, it also generates another field, right? That's how the pyramids work too. I can feel it on my whole helmet. That's crazy. That's fucking tight.
Okay. What in the all get out? Let's do it. Okay. You want hey, who else is gonna do it? Y'all gonna do it? You can't do it. You don't got it. You can't do it.
This motherfucker wants to build a data center in Utah, Box Elder County to be exact. It's not just a data center, it's a 40,000 acre data center. 40,000 acres! When I say 40,000 acres, that's just the private land. On top of that, they're taking 1,200 acres of military and state-owned land. They're associating the entire Hill Air Force Base and over 24 Utah National Guard sites across the entire state with this project. You know how big that is? One football field is 1 acre. 40,000 football fields. That's 62 square miles. That's bigger than the city of Seattle. That's massive. We'll be the largest data center in the United States.
Literally.
Here's a clip of him talking about it.
China's kicking our butts on creation of power. 10x. They're building more gigs than we are, 10 times more, and they're attaching data centers to it. We need a big campus, 40,000 acres in Utah, pipeline running right through it. We're going to build the largest data center in the world here, and because it's near a military site, I would argue the safest for DOW or for the Pentagon or whatever government agency wants it.
Utah doesn't need any more data centers. We already have 48 with 7 more under construction. We don't have a data center shortage, but you know, we do have a water shortage. And we all know that data centers use a ton of water. like an insane amount of water. 100% of Utah is in some form of drought right now. 59% of the state is in extreme drought. Record low snowpack. Nothing left for summer. So what's their solution to the water problem? They're going to clean the water, run it through a cooling system, and send it back to the aquifer that feeds the Great Salt Lake. The Great Salt Lake that's already lost half of its volume, that Great Salt Lake. Sure, guys. Now let's talk about what Utah's giving this man to make this happen. They slashed his energy tax from 6% down to 0.5%. They're giving him back 80% of his property taxes. Personal property taxes on all his equipment, computers, chips, servers, rebated, gone. Utah sales tax is expected to bring in $250 million a year from this project, but most of that just goes right back to the developer too. This man is worth $400 million, so he's not a billionaire, and he needs the state of Utah to get every tax they can just to make his math work. Oh, and one more thing. O'Leary said he found out about this opportunity 5 months ago.
Utah gets it. They have the leadership. I met them 5 months ago, and we announced it Friday night. That's impossible to do. Nobody can do that. It usually takes 5 years. They got together, they worked it out, they made it attractive, and now all the hyperscalers are knocking on the door of Utah.
And the county commissioners said they first heard about it a few weeks ago. And they're being asked to approve the biggest development deal in Utah history with no public input in 5 months. So then who approved this? Who's the man that approved this? That's part 2, and trust me, you'll want to know.
Tune in, because I will be sharing that here, part 2 here. But I will tell you this. It ain't gonna happen. Why? Because I don't believe in it. And I'm just not. So, if you believe in the power of what we think and speak, then you might as well go ahead and claim it right along with me. Ain't gonna happen.
This motherfucker wants to build a data center in Utah.
Not all humans are at the same level of consciousness. In fact, there are 7 levels, and most people never go beyond the first. But what about yours? First, you live comfortably inside the system. You work. You consume. You believe what you're told, and you don't question it. Second, you start to feel that something doesn't fit. Routine feels wrong. News, lies, repetition, they begin to bother you. Third, you question religion, politics, even science. People call you crazy for it. Fourth, you discover manipulation. You see how the system controls minds through fear, food, music. Fifth, you turn inward. You stop blaming others and understand that you create your own reality. Sixth, you learn to control your energy. You realize everything is vibration, and that thoughts shape what you experience. Seventh, you feel gratitude. You understand nothing external can save you, because the power was always inside you. If this resonated with you, if you feel like you no longer fit in the world the same way, it's because you've moved up. Help this video grow, and tell us what level you're at.
Moving on through the grapevine. Who knows the jam? Let me know down in the comments. Moving on up. Where'd that come from? If you don't know what you're looking at right now, this is apparently when gravity is going to give way for 30 or 60 seconds. So we've got that going for us.
Check this out. It has not melted. No bugs have touched this. It sat out all night. I've already done this test before already, y'all. 2 years ago. Not even joking. Yeah, see? Yeah. Now, we want to know why there's no mold, there's no melt, there's not even any dirt on this stuff, dude. I would highly suggest, though, to stop eating this, man, and stop feeding this to your kids, seriously, because look, that should have done something else. I know y'all are going to say, well, it doesn't have ice cream on your box anymore, dude. That's the point. That's the point, y'all. Come on, man. Like, dude, we quit eating this. We lost 100 pounds apiece, my wife and I did. So I highly suggest, man, y'all do the same. Y'all give me a follow, man, if you're not, because we're going to be doing some really cool food experiments.
I like food experiments. I'm going to try that out. What do you guys think? We could do like just a tryout day. A tryout week. So post yours, I'll post mine.
If you got a kid, don't ever let him put his cell phone near his head, and don't let him carry it in one of his front pockets. If it's a girl, don't let them carry their cell phone in their breast pocket. Don't let them carry them anywhere near their ovaries. And the farther the cell phone is from your head, when you're talking, the better off you are. This is not hyperbole when I say tens of thousands of studies that show the really extreme dangers of cell phone radiation, and people are not paying attention.
I used to tell my daughters way back in the day not to put their phones by their breasts and their bras, not to put their phone in their back or their front pockets. My youngest daughter just brought that up the other day. Mom, do you remember when? I said, girl, of course I do.
This is the most delusional generation of all time. So every guy I know thinks that they're going to somehow gamble their way to generational wealth. And every girl I know somehow thinks that they're going to just do whatever in college and meet a rich dude that will give them everything that they want. Not to mention the fact that everything is literally being gamified into some sort of consumerism slop to maximize profit and just make people waste their entire life and become slaves. And don't even get me started on prediction markets, where you could put your entire paycheck on political wars and see if you win. Young teenagers are starting to inject needles into themselves to make them look bigger and more muscular. It's all because of the propagandization of the media, trying to be hyper masculine, trying to get you to spend money on things that aren't even FDA approved, and no one actually knows the long-term effects of these drugs. And the worst part is that this is all planned. This is all what the elites want. It's all a distraction. They want us to be divided. They want us to be culturally individualistic so we can prioritize profit, prioritize competition within ourselves. And I'm seeing it all over my recommended feed. I'm seeing anti-Israel content, which then slowly progresses into anti-Semitism. This turns into fascism because people can't draw the line. Kids are buying trading courses from people that have never been profitable for more than 3 years in their life, and they literally just make most of their paycheck from the courses that they and they're being manipulated and burnt to the ground by these institutions that invest billions of dollars into their algorithms, while they're just using ICT concepts backed by absolutely nothing. They're made up out of fugazi fluff. And the truth is, in this capitalistic society, the way to win and the way to get to the top is to work hard and for a long period of time. Prioritize longevity, prioritize education, prioritize connections. All of what your parents told you is right. Listen to your elders because they have more experience in this world no matter what. Don't listen to this random guy on social media that's trying to sell you a course.
Bright young man right there. Bright young man. And I can say that because I am old as centuries. I'm centuries old. Best believe.
Guys, we have some brand new updates about the cruise ship, and it's not going to be what you expect. More people have now tested positive for the virus, and a completely different cruise ship with over 100 people that are sick on it just showed up. There's a completely different cruise ship called the Caribbean Princess, and 115 people on board are sick with norovirus. This includes 102 passengers and 13 crew members. It's docking in Florida today, and they're doing a full deep clean of the entire ship before it goes back out. Now back to the original original ship, it finally docked yesterday, and they got all 94 passengers off of it.
Is set to dock off Spain tomorrow with at least a dozen Americans on board.
And guys, another person started showing symptoms, and they sent them to a hospital in Atlanta. 15 of them are now in quarantine, and they got told that they could either stay for 42 days in quarantine or they could just go home and deal with it themselves. The World Health Organization is still saying that this will not be another COVID, but 6 states all across the US are still actively tracking people that were on that ship. This story has gotten so big all over social media that people are still betting on Kalshi on whether or not this is going to turn into something more serious or not. I am keeping you updated on absolutely everything, and now there is another ship involved. Make sure you add me so you don't miss the next update.
2 ships. Hold your breath, folks. Hold your breath.
Goldfish crackers are at the center of a lawsuit after mislabeling a preservative that's fermented from black mold. That same preservative shows up across multiple versions of this product.
Every cracker your toddler eats contains mutilated cheese inflated 15 times beyond real cheddar. It begins as a white block, dyed orange with annatto. That block gets broken down in a lab, injected with enzymes until all that's left is powder. And yet the packaging claims no preservatives. That powder is bound with industrial oil and preserved with citric acid, fermented from black mold, then baked into your cracker. Totsi flagged 3 separate MSG systems with almost 2/3 of it processed. Scan what you're feeding your child. Comment Totsi to scan any food for free.
My daughter loves her some goldfish too. A whole bunch of loves her some goldfish. Ooh-wee.
Guys, we have some official brand new updates on the cruise ship virus, and despite the evacuation, the quarantine, and everything else that they have done, it is still spreading. The case count itself has now officially climbed to 11, and it is now confirmed to be in France and Spain.
So global health officials are warning hantavirus cases will continue to rise. Only 3 people have died from the outbreak, but the number of reported cases is now up to 11.
Passengers who actually left the ship and went home before the evacuation even happened are now testing positive, and some of them had no symptoms for weeks. Here in the US, 36 different people have been flagged as exposed, and 10 different states are actively monitoring right now. This includes Texas, California, Arizona, Georgia, Virginia, New Jersey, Maryland, Minnesota, Kansas, and Washington. 16 of the Americans are still in quarantine in Nebraska right now, and then 2 more are in a hospital in Atlanta. Every single one of them is now going to be watched for the next 42 days, which is obviously almost 2 months in total. The World Health Organization is still saying that this will not be another COVID, but the cases have not stopped going up. People are still betting on this on Kalshi right now on whether or not this is going to turn into something bigger, and they've been betting on this entire time, and they still can't agree on what's going to happen. I'm keeping you updated on absolutely everything on this story, so make sure you go ahead and add me now so you don't miss it.
Definitely won't, since I played that video twice. Just this very time. Upward and onward.
It's called the transgender pride flag.
I'm Lindsay.
Trans members of this family all love each other so proudly, and they all go marching in the big parade. Come join the fun!
As a transberry, I love living out loud as my most authentic self.
What's an abortion anyway? Abortion is very safe, and millions of people have abortions every year all around the world.
I love killing babies. I love it. I've had like 45 abortions, and I'm gonna keep having them.
L'impensable devient la nouvelle normalité. Parce que vous avez fait confiance au système. Mais ce système n'élève pas vos enfants. Il les reprogramme pour servir son agenda.
Y'all might have a lot to say about this, or not a lot of much. Maybe not anything at all. But what I have to share is that I have no problem with anyone and what they choose to do behind closed doors. But when it comes to the promotion of children before they have a solid idea about anything in the world, that I definitely have an opinion about. But I'm not going to share my opinion here with you. You make up your own opinions, you make up your own decisions, and you let me and everyone else in the world do the same, I suppose, right? Onward and upward.
I think that, like TVs and phones and computers and stuff, they're kind of eerily similar to, like scrying mirrors used by witches, you know? Let me explain. So you got the television, where they tell a vision, right? And on their television, they have some broadcasting of spells, yeah? And then they got the channels, kind of like channeling of spells. Got the programs, the mental programming, you know? Devices. It just so happens that the notorious druid wizards made their wands from Hollywood. Oh, the wood of a holly tree. That's a cool coincidence there. You know? You got your cell phone, prison cell, with your lock screen, you know? Got the internet, networking, you know? What are you using net for? I think you use a net to catch people, you know, kind of to trap people. A web site, kind of like a spider web, you know, also used to trap things. Monitor, who are they monitoring? A server? Who are we serving? What are we serving, you know? Why is it called a firewall? Why is it called a freaking mouse? You know, don't they test on mice in labs? And you got your keyboard. Key to what? You know, what doors am I opening with my keyboard, you know? What are these keys leading to, you know? Am I onto something, or am I schizo? Am I schizo? Oh, I'm back on schizogram. He's totally schizo. Oh, take your meds, bro. Take your meds.
You're witnessing the birth of a conspiracy theorist. I mean, you never know. Keep an open mind, I always say. You never know. There are some quinky dinks in this world, but I wouldn't be worried too much about the television or the cell phone. When I was his age, I was wondering, why do you drive in a parkway, but you park in a driveway? You ever think about that? Anyway, guys, there's way more important things to worry about. Okay, it's like get your successful quickly because the financial gap is widening. And I don't know if you guys have paid attention to this lately, but there's something going on called the conflict of Iran. The Iran war, folks, could be detrimental to your future. So, again, I would be paying real close attention to who you elect next election, if we can even get to one.
A-E-I-O. Ooh.
Wow, so this is a stone book with stone binders.
What?
Absolutely incredible. Look at these stone pages. This is something, wow, look at the light language on this. Oh, wow, flying ship here, flying ship.
What?
Wow, this is incredible.
Where did he get that book from?
This tells the story of that page. Oh, wow, look at this. This is like a comic book. It is. It's like an ancient comic book.
For real?
Wow, look at that. Don't we be dating? Nice. That's incredible.
Never in my life have I ever seen a stone book like that. That guy said it looks like an alien comic book. Now, that looked like alien language written in that. Did you see it, guys? The UFOs, the aliens, how it was carved into that? Who did that? Shh. Shut up! You see, they're tired of hiding. They want to come out already. The time is now. So that's why all of these things are coming out of nowhere. I don't know who the hell those people are and where they got that book from. And let's not forget, guys, this video is for entertainment purposes only. Who knows if that's real or if it's fake? You think they're tired of hiding out? You see where they at. Let me know what you think about this. I'm out.
What do you think, you guys? Do you think that was AI? Let me know down in the comments what you think. Was the book AI or not? Or shoot, I don't know.
Dostoevsky warned us, tolerance will reach such a level that intelligent people will be forbidden to think so as not to offend the imbeciles. And the prophet was right. We live in an age where thinking has become a crime, where the sensitivity of the fool is worth more than the clarity of the wise. Truth must now apologize, thought must walk on tiptoes, and he who dares to question it is silenced, labeled, and canceled. What they call tolerance is in truth the new name for cowardice. A society that protects stupidity is doomed to be ruled by it. Dostoevsky saw the abyss long before us, and he was right. The world won't be destroyed by the wicked, but the cowards who can't stand to hear someone think differently.
Toxic spike protein in your body that can cause adverse reactions, including nervous system disorders, cancers, and worst of all, myocarditis that can lead to sudden death. So you might be thinking, those adverse reaction people are crazy. I got the shot, nothing bad happened to me. I'll give you 5 reasons why that is. First, you have no idea where the tip of that needle is when they push that plunger. If it's in a vein or a capillary bed, those particles will rapidly spread to your heart and to your brain, increasing your chances of neurologic and cardiac symptoms. Secondly, you have no idea how many particles are in that syringe. It could vary tenfold based on how it was prepared. And the more particles you get, the greater the chance of an adverse reaction. So maybe you just got lucky. Third, there is polyethylene glycol in the shot that keeps the particles from sticking together. If it degrades, and it does, you could get injected with coagulating goo that can cause a deadly stroke or a heart attack within minutes or hours. Fourth, the mRNA that's in the shot can degrade also, so it won't even make the spike protein at all, lessening your chance of an adverse reaction. Fifth, the more acidic your body is, the more spike proteins you will make, and that will increase the chance of an adverse reaction. So maybe you got lucky again, and your body, due to your diet or medications, was less acidic, and you made less spike proteins. But you can only be lucky for so long. The effects of this shot are cumulative. So my advice is to never, ever get one of these shots again. And if you did get one, get your D-dimer levels checked for microclotting and troponin checked for myocarditis. These problems can be asymptomatic and result in chronic disease or death in 2 to 5 years if you don't do something about it. Thank you.
How many of you have not gotten the vaccine? I haven't gotten it. No one in my family has gotten the vaccine.
This is everything that happened on the news today, but it's going to be simplified in 60 seconds. Scientists are now officially attempting to de-extinct the mammoth by the year 2028. They're saying that they are 100% certain that they can do this, but they're also trying to bring back the dodo bird and the Tasmanian tiger. What a brilliant idea. Incredible video shows Dubai's artificial rain that's used to combat high temperatures. Basically, Dubai flies a bunch of drones up into the sky so they can seed the clouds and make it rain on command, which is crazy. Incredible image shows what a solar eclipse actually looks like from space. It looks like this from space, it just looks like a black blob. Also, liquid trees are now officially being used in Serbia to fight against air pollution. It's literally this green tank that's filled with water and algae. It acts just like a tree would. For anybody that has an account on Disney Plus, they're officially cracking down on password sharing in June, which means if you're logged into anything outside of your home, your account will be terminated. This is your reminder that there's going to be a massive star explosion set to illuminate the night sky in a once-in-a-lifetime event. They have no idea when exactly this is going to happen, so make sure you add me and I'll let you know. I give you these daily roundups every single day, so make sure you add me and come back to me tomorrow.
Excellent. I like that. He does awesome news. If you haven't followed him, if you don't know who he is, now you do. Follow him on IG. There's some wackety noodle stuff just in that conglomerate right there.
Guys, we have some brand new updates about the cruise ship, and it's not gonna be what you expect. More people have now tested positive for the virus, and a completely different cruise ship with over 100 people that are sick on it just showed up. There's a completely different cruise ship called the Caribbean Princess, and 115 people on board are sick with norovirus. This includes 102 passengers and 13 crew members. It's docking in Florida today, and they're doing a full deep clean of the entire ship before it goes back out. Now back to the original ship. It finally docked yesterday, and they got all 94 passengers off of it.
Is set to dock off Spain tomorrow with at least a dozen Americans on board.
And guys, another person started showing symptoms, and they sent them to a hospital in Atlanta. 15 of them are now in quarantine, and they got told that they could either stay for 42 days in quarantine or they could just go home and deal with it themselves. The World Health Organization is still saying that this will not be another COVID, but 6 states all across the US are still actively tracking people that were on that ship. This story has gotten so big all over social media that people are still betting on Kalshi on whether or not this is going to turn into something more serious or not. I am keeping you updated on absolutely everything, and now there is another ship involved. Make sure you add me so you don't miss the next update.
Okay, don't miss that update, please. These are so cool. It was like, what? These are really, really cool. So there is a lot to unpack. A lot to unpack. Let me know how you're feeling down in the comments, fam. With all of the billions of us on this planet, we need to reach more people. We need to wake up, and we need to help others awaken. So please, subscribe, like, share, and comment to throw us into that right algorithm. The one right there, you know, right where we want to be. I've got you and you've got me. That's the one. Let's get it, fam. Because I need you and you need me. We all need each other. And without being able to reach out and touch someone. If you grew up in the 80s, you'll know. Reach out and just say hi. Ma Belle.